visit places getting it right. Sold a
What it do? What's up, y'all? Finna do a message of today. I'm trying to pull up my astrological chart. I think the sun is, well, I know the sun is in Aries, moon in Sag, and we finna do a message or a reading. I haven't been on here in a minute. Well, it feels like a minute. It probably ain't been that long. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, the moon is 29 degrees Sag. All planets are direct at the moment. Wow. Yep. And Cancer is no longer in Mars. I mean, Mars is no longer in Cancer. Yes. So let's see what the message is for today. Today is Friday, Venus Day. Venus is in Pisces at the moment. Let's pull some astrological cards. Okay. Let's see what the message is going to be about today. What they do? Jackie knew. What they do? Jackie knew. Some of these cards are upside down. Some of these cards are right side up. Whatever. I don't really read these cards in that type of order, but I do consider that. Even if I'm pulling out of cards that really don't supposed to be read in the reverse, I still consider it because it's always relevant. What the fucking day? Okay, my bad. All right, so let's see what this message is gonna be about, y'all. Let me start shuffling. All planets are direct. Mars is out of Cancer, and we're on the 29th degree of Sagittarius regarding the moon. So, um, and yesterday was a Sagittarian Jupiter day. So it probably was a lot of, well, for me, there was a lot of discussions about meanings and reasonings and purposes and stuff like that. But we got the 10th house came out. 10th house is the Capricorn house. The moon will be in Capricorn tomorrow. But your 10th house specifically may not be dealing with Capricorn. Uh-oh, we got a card that's Pisces, but I'm going to put that one back because it was just in the deck wrong. Pisces is in Mercury right now, so it wants to be heard and seen. Well, it wants to be heard and understood. Okay, Pisces still came out. All right. Yes, Pisces is in Mercury right now. So a lot of it could be confusing communications, confusing thoughts, cloudy thoughts, but bitch, some people could have a clear understanding of what the hell it is in their dream realm and the things that they can't see. Those things are to be discussed, and that's what's going to give you a clearer perspective. The moon came out. Well, it didn't come out. Hold on. I had got distracted, and I pulled it. What up, whoever that is? Oh, Mercury came out. Communication. Mercury is in Pisces. All right. Hold on, let me see something. And Saturn is in Pisces since we had the 10th house. That's why I even pulled that, looked at that. So it's a whole lot of things that may not be visible to the actual physical eye, but things that you just deeply understand and know. These things can be more constructed in the actual world through communication, through building it. It can be built upon at the moment. That's a beautiful thing. And Aries being that it's in the sun, because the sun being in Aries, that can give you some oomph and some gumption to go ahead on and get these things done, or to express these things verbally, or even through what you have created and built. But anyway, let's see what the cards come out. Okay. Four came out disproportionate as four. It's yellow. Not sure what the positioning of that four is, but it's not a balanced four though. That's not no balanced shit. That's somebody trying to continually square out a circle. Because if you look at it, look, they trying to make the circle, the square round through logic, trying to understand these deeper elements of life instead of just allowing your heart to understand these things and letting these things process. Too much logic being put upon things that can be built upon. Overthinking type shit. You may want to create something or build something or put something on a platform, but the overthought of it, trying to be perfect, is gonna make these things not be something that somebody give a damn about that you're trying to present it to. We got another disproportionate energy. 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. We finna pull up the positions of these energies just in a moment because I'm not sure if they're exaggerated or if they're inhibited, but they're one of the two though. Okay, this one came out. This is a balance 6. 6. So again, we got masculine, feminine, and androgynous energy at the moment. The only one that's equalized is the androgyny energy, which is the truth. So it's not like people don't know what the hell they got going on. It's a matter of how do I participate in the truth. Let me pull it out the deck. Let me pull it out the book. Let me read this shit out the book. So again, we got the 4 energy, which is too much logic because look, they trying to make a square into a circle instead of deeply understanding what it is that they can logically know. They trying to logically know something that is deep. It's like you know, trying to read a book in order to learn how to ride a bike. Then we had that 8. Well, hold on, let me read the 4 first. Let's see what position that was in. The 4 is in an exaggerated, exaggeration. Exaggerating shit that ain't even supposed to be that deep. It ain't supposed to be that hard to understand. It's something that you already know, but you're trying to make it like, oh, that's not it. It can't be it. It can't be that simple. Yeah, it actually is that simple. And that creates blockages. That creates blockages and stuff that's supposed to actually just naturally flow. It says that completely devoid of any structure. The power of, okay, so see, it's a moment of trying to structure something that doesn't even, that's not a part of the blueprint for what it is that you're trying to bring structure upon. Actually, the structure, the left brain logical worldly structure that's trying to be applied to whatever this is not beneficial. It doesn't create productivity from whatever this is, from these dreams, because we got a lot of Piscean energies in the air and out of these cards. Because remind you, we had Pisces come out, the 10th house, and Mercury. Now, I'm not sure about what's in your particular 10th house, but I do know that Saturn rules the 10th house. And right now, Saturn is in Pisces. Pisces itself came out, and Mercury came out, and Mercury is in Pisces at the moment. So it's a lot of Piscean dream state things that you want to bring to reality that others may not be. You can't put others on this. You got to show them. With Aries being in the sun, these things you can make an example out of this in order for somebody to understand. But if you're trying to put too much logic and trying to create a damn pamphlet about something that doesn't necessarily need to be understood logically, then you're dropping the ball at that point. Like I said, it's kind of like trying to learn how to fly a kite through reading a book about it instead of just getting a damn kite and going outside and what's the word, trial and erroring that shit. Then we had the number 8 to come out. 8 is that karmic cycle. It don't have to be karmic. It's just a continual cycle. It's a feminine energy. Because once you become aware of an experience or you separate from something, you begin to have a different pattern. So this is the pattern that is created, which creates synchronicities. Well, however you want to look at it. But the 8 is also exaggerated. Let's look at it real quick. The 8 is also exaggerated. The number 8 in the exaggeration looks out of balance, sometimes full of power and sometimes completely powerless. So it's never balanced with this position. Sometimes you could be letting these cycles take you under and you're not knowing how to control these things and just allowing life to come to you and being afraid of life. Actually, yeah, it's like being afraid. 8 gives scorpionic energy too. Plutonian energy, when you allow God or the world or your reality to control what happens next in your life, and not realizing that you have power and control over these things. Or it could be that you're trying to apply too much power and control, and that, I feel like that could also likely be it, with that 4 being disproportionate like it is, trying to control certain things that you don't even supposed to be necessarily concerned about. Things must happen, certain things must be certain cycles must end, certain things must die, and trying to stop that, you're going against the flow. You're supposed to sit quietly in the middle and be like, yeah, well, it is what it is, and I know what that is, so let me act appropriately to the scenario, not you allowing these things to just run rapid. And what does it actually say? Full of power and sometimes completely powerless, as can be seen from the unequal circles and the small scale. Then the balance of it all that we got today is 6. To me, 6 is corresponds with the truth. I've even looked up the word truth and added up the digits of it. It even equals up to 6. But you know, that's just my own personal revelations. So you can take that for whatever the fuck you want to take it for. But anyway, 6 is also, it's it being androgynous. That's that mutable energy, that the atmosphere, so to speak. You create your own atmosphere, which makes that a mutable thing. 3 would be that your surroundings, what you can visibly see. 6 would be you going out into the world, going out into the community and observing the rest of the environment, and you carrying your own atmosphere within yourself. You'll be able to mutably switch up the vibe if so needed, type shit. So what's that saying though? Let me see. We got a little bit more to go. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Hold on. So the perfection of the number 6. Let me hold it up, y'all. So beloved by all mathematicians, is here shown by a hexagram. In the harmonic unity of the two triangles, the smaller image, heaven and earth, yin and yang, male and female unite. As above, so below. And that's the way that you can that's the way that you can transmute the actual atmosphere and the actual it's like a God space, so to speak, because this is something that can't be seen, but it's very much so relevant. And you can transmute these things by realizing as above, so below. So if something is as above, it corresponds with whatever's going below, vice versa. If I'm in a certain state of mind, as above, or in the environment, certain things are going to relate to me and I'm going to react to them according to the vibe that I'm in. So keep that in mind. But that's not the full scope though, because we finna go deep. We finna go deep. I hope I brought enough cards. Cause you know, I rearranged my sanctuary and I probably should have made my things more accessible. And I got my tarot cards and my all my oracle cards set up in such a beautiful way. I don't be wanna mess it up. But so I just grabbed whatever was available at the moment. Okay, we got more. I did bring enough cards. I did. I meant to burn my sage. So I guess we're gonna read out of the we're gonna read out the celestial insight, y'all. Because we finna gain more understanding what the hell this message is about. I get the gist of it. I'm sure y'all do too. But specifics, maybe not necessarily specifics, but more elaboration so people can relate to these things individually. What it do, y'all? Oh, I got the dick upside down. Hold on. If y'all just came up in here, we're talking about the current energies of the day. A whole lot of this energy is going to be pertained around Pisceans type shit. Because the Mercury is in Pisces. The 10th house came out, but we know that Saturn rules the 10th house and Saturn is in Pisces. And actual Pisces card came out. So these are about the things that is unseen but very relevant though. Whether the things that are unseen want to be respected by others, at least you know to respect them. Balance came out. Hold on, I'm gonna read it in a minute. And we were just talking about balance when it comes to that 8 energy, because the number 8 came out in a disproportionate way, meaning that sometimes you may allow these cycles to overrule your experience and feel that you don't have control, or maybe you try to control too much shit and think that certain deaths and certain beginnings and endings can be changed. No, it's not for you to change those things. It's for you to prepare for those things, and then as you prepare for them, things will fall into place. Death will occur, but it will occur in a moment of where you're in a way that you're kind of like prepared for it, and sturdy. You're kind of sturdy. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Saturn being in Pisces. Saturn gives you that sturdy when it comes to those things that's in the unseen. You have a solid foundation of, I know what it is that I know in my heart, because I know who I am and I know how I feel, and I have experienced these things enough to understand that these are relevant aspects of life, and nobody can tell you otherwise. And in fact, if you just continue to be an example within yourself, those things will be evident for not just yourself, but when it's necessary for others. If you get what I'm saying, you can be in a moment of talking to, or just being yourself for real. And being yourself, more than likely, if you're watching this, you're probably the type of person who is not no status quo pleasing type of individual. And you don't got to be just because you're around other individuals that abide by certain rules and regulations of the world. And as I ain't gonna go deep. Let me not self project. Let me not self project. But hold on. One more card, so we can read these cards. So I guess the message, or the whole point of so far, is to make sure that you don't forget about these things that you can't necessarily see, and make sure that you don't allow people to make you distrust these things too, because we got trust came out. All right, so let's read them. First was balance. Balance says balance is key to a harmonious life. Life gives me 6 energy, 3, 6, and 9 energy, all androgynous energy, all mutable type shit. That's what those energies give me, life, because they say, scientifically speaking, that's the God number, but really I kind of equate God to life. When somebody asks me, that's a regular degular ass person, what is God, or we have a conversation about that, I kind of like always equate it to make it kind of relatable to others to understand how this is true. It's just life. That's just all it is. What up, Misa? Balance is the key to a harmonious life. Have you been feeling out of sync? That number 8 energy. Adjust how you spend your time and energy to ensure you maintain a healthy equilibrium. That's the reason why I'm even on live right now. I'm not gonna go too deep into my personal situations, but I've been stretched in several directions during this little season right now. And it's like, bitch, I need my own time. I need to make sure that I prioritize what it is that I enjoy doing. I don't want to get too far away from certain things, even though I wasn't. But I'm just saying, like, I don't like putting other things that I don't prioritize in front of what I actually do prioritize, even though I don't care what the situation is. That could be selfish, so I have to find balance in that. But at some point, the balance is going to be for me to do what it is that I want to do. I don't care if somebody, let me shut up, let me not self project. All right, next was sturdy, because I'm sturdy in certain systems that I have come to the conclusion of that go for my specific individual life. Like, the world may go to church every Sunday and celebrate Easter and shit like that, but on Sundays I may have been doing a certain thing and made that my routine and my pattern, but now I'm supposed to switch that up. Kiss my ass. But no, I ain't gonna say that, because I will cooperate, and I will be mutable, but at the same time I know what it is that I've I've done too much. I've been on this path like a little too long for me to turn away, especially knowing that what's important is actually what I find, what I feel that is. I ain't gonna say it like that. How do I want to say it? Don't even worry about it. Let's just read this. A strong foundation is the key to success. Are you feeling uncertain about something? Focus on building a solid base in whatever you're working on. It will provide long-term stability. So don't allow life itself, the things that come around that, like, damn, that came out of nowhere. Damn, that person died. Well, now I got to go and bake a cake for the neighbors. Now, if I was in the middle of a meditation, I'm still going to meditate. Like, I don't allow these things to too much throw me off, even though sometimes they just do that by default. But Still maintain what it is that you know that you're supposed to be doing for yourself, that has got you on your on whatever productive path that you're on. Don't let these things of life disturb your process. Yeah, type shit. So I'm finna say peace, but it ain't about necessarily. I ain't talking about peace. I'm talking about process that allows you to have this peace. That even shows you how what your version of peace is. Don't let anything come and distract you too far from yourself, of what you have realized about what you need in your reality. Trust. Trust is essential for moving forward, right? Because guess what? Anything in the 369 energy or that atmospheric energy, you can't do nothing but look at it and know that it's true. When something appears in your environment that you didn't necessarily create out of your own self at the moment, you got to realize, well, that is what it is. So you might as well trust it too, and that'll allow you to be able to know what you got going on. Because again, as above, so below, and 369 gives that life energy, that as above, because that's that as above energy, and you are the below, and your experience is the below. So you got to trust these things. Trust is essential for moving forward. Are you doubting the path ahead? Have faith in the universe's plan and in yourself. Take the next step with confidence. Don't be necessarily humble. I was listening to somebody this morning. The dude on, never mind. This dude on IG, he kind of like maybe autistic or something. And he brought this up, and I said, damn, this nigga smarter than most average ass people. Because he was like, fuck being humble. What he said? Fuck being humble. I forgot what the hell he said after that. But the point is, um, if you're humble, if you know what the word humble actually means, it means to belittle yourself or to allow others to belittle yourself. Unless you humbling yourself, like I find it quite wise and intelligent to know how to humble yourself so that life itself don't have to humble you. You can look at people as examples. You're supposed to learn from examples. That's the whole point of examples, so that you can learn from those things. And then when you see a person that's doing something that they look that they you would deem as not appropriate or whatever the case is, and you find that same thing in yourself, then that's when you know how to equalize your own energies, and therefore nobody or life won't have to humble you. So it's hard to be confident when you're in a moment of being humble. When you're in a moment of distorting your energies or switching up your own personality based on somebody else is present, ain't no possibility for you to be confident. But confident ain't got nothing to do with the cards, but it is a message too, though. You're supposed to be confident in this Aries sun. And with trust builds confidence. When you can trust what you got going on, you can be confident in it. That's kind of like synonymous. But anyway, all right, let's pull out another card, though. Out another deck. What I want to pull out of? I might pull out this dark deck. Because there's a whole lot of death and transformations going on, at least around me and my atmosphere. And I feel like, oh, shit. Even though we got the sun and Aries and stuff, it's still a whole lot of things and transformations going on in other people's experiences, too. Plus, I haven't pulled out this deck in a long time. Let's see what they got going on. Misa say, great rising, lovely, peace, protection, positive, and prosperity to you. Appreciate that. Let me throw that right back at you. I ain't read out this deck in a long time. Let me burn some sage real quick, y'all. I'm just gonna take my time. If you don't have time to watch me take my time, then bye. I'm just kidding. But if you ain't got time, get what? I'm still finna burn my sage right now. I ain't opened up this deck in a long time. This deck to me gives transformation, Scorpio, death. So I kind of want to cleanse this energy. The last time I pulled this deck out, it was in the previous season. It wasn't even springtime. It probably was winter, maybe even early winter. So I ain't pulled this deck out in a long time. I wish I was the type of YouTuber that get personal. I don't know why that's something. I don't know why that's something difficult for me to do. Because I know that I do be getting personal by default. Because that's just my personality. I'm like an open book. But consciously and intentionally telling y'all my personal business, that's weird for me. But sometimes I be wanting to do that because that helps the engagement. But fuck that. Just stay out my business. Hold on, y'all. I got this sage in my car because don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let me stay um keep my boundaries. Anyways, all right, so what came out first? The card already came out. The animal. Look at his eye. The animal, that's the animalistic natures. That's that root chakra shit. That's that deep core survival. We ain't pulled it out the deck yet. And it's black and white. Confidence is within you and me, so forward progress will be guaranteed, right? If you're confident, that's gonna allow you to push forward. That's gonna allow you to like experience. It's gonna allow you to try things. It's gonna make you not necessarily hold back when it's time to create. And even confidence can throw you into a ditch of failure, but at least it's at least you have learned from that. So that in itself still is progression. Then we got the dark deck out, the death deck. So I'm talking about how confidence can make you can make you fail if your confidence is like out of place. Like somebody might have bigged you up and really bitch, you need to sit your ass down. They just were being nice, and now you done took that and you think you just shit, and really everybody else around you finna be laughing. That can still, that's still progressive. Like I have to look at everything good or bad on each side of the spectrum and go within that. Even when I'm looking at the bad, what was the positive out of that? So it doesn't matter how you want to slice it. Even when your confidence is disproportionate, you still gonna learn something. I mean, that's just life, period. If you're breathing, you have the capability of learning something every day, whether you want to grab it or not. All right. So what this was, the warrior. This is you being confident. This is Aries type shit right here. I got the rainbow, the sun, spring type shit. The warrior, even when you do fall in a ditch and you make a fool of yourself. And so fucking what, bitch? People don't actually give a damn. And who do you know in this world that haven't done the same? And if you have gumption and like moxie, that's a word that I learned. If you have moxie means like determination, it means like strength, endurance, stuff like that. Like you pushing forward anyway. When you continue, you maintain that moxie even in the midst of you of failure, you'll be able to build upon that instead of allowing that to be a pit hole or a scar in your whole, like when you look over your whole life, you haven't did anything with that ditch. You haven't figured out a way to like see the positive out of that, so it cannot be for no reason. But when you make sure that you do use all things, that creates warrior energy. Two cards came out. Let me pull it again. We ain't even read this out the deck. We finna get more insight. This deck right here. I don't pull out of it in like bright sunny sunshine energies too often, but this deck goes so deep. When I actually read it out the book, I gain so much more revelations of what I already gathered from the energy itself. I can, it allows me to go deeper into that. But let's see. Come on, baby. Let's get something. Black and white. Damn, my 15 cards came out. No, we ain't doing that. Black and white is a thing. Black and white is two opposite polarizations, meaning that it's two extremes for real. And we got a rainbow that's on top of that. It's on top of his crown chakra. So having equilibrium mentally will allow you to flow through this polarized ass life with some glitter behind you, shimmering behind you like a damn Superman cape, so to speak, but it's an energetic thing. Then it got the snake snaking all around it, which is the internal. So it's like, cause what that was I said? Oh, the animal was like that root chakra energy. Snake gives me root chakra, but it's on his head. So it's like you are able to understand the full spectrum of reality for real. Not to say that you keep your root in your mind. That's why we got the rainbow. We need to equalize these things. I remember JD, she did a reading in one of our classes, and that was something that came up in the reading about root chakra energies being disproportionate and maybe even being up here. So focusing too much on survival, maybe having sexualized thoughts, inappropriate thoughts, thoughts that's just throwing the flow of the chakras like this shit is supposed to flow, but that's not even necessarily a negative thing if you know how to transmute and balance that. Now you have intellectual understandings about survival, so to speak. You know how to like look at certain traumas in the root appropriately with it coming to your mental space. You know what I'm saying? And we got the rainbow right there. But listen, hold on. We ain't even ready yet. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We need one more card. One more card. Bruh, please don't start it. Okay. Last card. The prayer. This is a beautiful card. It seems like I've pulled this before, but I don't remember seeing that card though. This card gives me Piscean energies. Piscean energies. Because look at it. It's things that's not necessarily visible, but they're there and you can clearly sense that they are there, but you can't really make sense out of it from a intellectual perspective. That's that. Okay, so that is like that root energy or that deep energy trying to intellectualize these things back to those number cards that we had for being disproportionate, trying to make logical sense out of something that is supposed to be read with the heart. So this, although this could be positive that you know how to understand things in the root, this is not giving that though. It's giving some allow your heart to understand these things and don't necessarily try to make these things be logical for yourself at the moment or others. Let them process first and then put them into words. But hold on, we ain't finished yet. That's the prayer, and that is how you pray. Prey. You don't necessarily need to logically understand something to prey about it, because prey is when you go forward towards the things that you have a desire for or the things that you may necessarily need. You don't necessarily have to logically understand it. It's just like I said, you don't need to read a book to learn how to ride a bike. In fact, if you try to read a book to learn how to ride a bike, you're going to overthink. You may not even go get the damn bike, and you probably want to read it before you actually get on it. Now you're trying to pedal exactly how they told you to pedal when you have your own flow. You got your own aura. Your body moves the way your body moves type shit. But let's read it out the deck, though. I mean, the book. So, I need to go see my mama. I don't know why that came to mind. I got to go see my mama today. For real. I'm finna go do that as soon as I leave here. As soon as I end this. I got so much to do today. Every day. Not every day, but this one of them days. This one of them weeks. Probably month. Season, cycle, whatever. But we gonna get all that shit done. With grace. But anyways. What up, Samira? The song cover I just posted is the whole reading so far. Real shit. Synchronicities. Lynn, Cammy, what it do, girl? Okay. The animal. What the animal is? The animal gives, I would say the self. We got several categories: the self, places, tools, and initiation. But I'd say the self. Let me see. The animal. Um, I don't see it. Hold up. Okay, it is a self. It's a number 19 energy. 19 equals 1 again. That's a masculine and androgynous. 9 plus 1 is 10. That's a whole. And we got the 10th house that came out. Okay. And 10th house, relating that to Saturn, that's an earthly thing. Animals are something that's down to earth type shit. Um, the other number is 99. That's another ending. So there's some ending type shit. 99 is 18 plus 1 is 9. Damn, the synchronicity I be want to tell y'all this shut up. It's too much, but let me just keep it to the reading. Damn, but I'm gonna relate it though. Hold on. Cause okay, my stepbrother just died, y'all. He died Tuesday. He was a number 9 individual. He lived very fucking reckless as fuck. You know them number 9s, they like they already know. So he already lived his life to the fullest in the most destructive way. Never ate vegetables and was proud to tell you I don't fucking eat vegetables. They got vegetables? I don't want that. and you on your deathbed, bro. But that's the number 9 for you. He was a number 9 individual. He died on a number 9 day in a number 9 year. He died on 414. That equals up to 9. 2025, 9. Add those things together, 9. But anyways, that's besides the point. But he in the moment right now for this reading, he kind of gives me the representation of that animal energy. Like he didn't give a fuck about nothing that was um I don't want to say status quo because he didn't give a fuck about that either. Well, he kind of did, but that's even animalistic in a way because this world in itself is like what the Bible say. The father of this world is the devil. So to abide by come on now, to abide by these status quo things kind of makes you have to um not pay attention to the things that's not earthly, and all things that's man-made and earthly are the things that will destroy you. For real, if you don't have any moderation, and he had no moderation, but that's besides the point. So 99, and it led him clearly for everybody to see and for him to also obviously know down his path, and he didn't give a damn. He flaunted that shit like, yeah, I don't eat vegetables. Man, we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna save it for don't worry about it. Got my business. Okay, the animal. And he got blue eyes. Blue represents that the thoughts. I got on blue today. And my stepbrother funeral is gonna be blue. But anyways, we are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs reminds us so. We try to deny our unrefined animalistic nature. Yet through this archetype, we tap into power and direction. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Hold on, I wasn't even listening as I was reading. Let me read that again. Yet through this archetype, we tap into power and direction. That's that innate knowing. That's that instinct. So, not to say that everything animalistic is negative, but when you're applying it to your human experience, you got to have some type of sense about it with that blue in it, because these things that's in your instinct has to be like acted out. Don't hold these things in. Back to that Piscean energy, something that you know deeply, that's instinctual for you to know. Don't cover that up and act like it's not relevant in the moment just because there's certain individuals around you that may not fucking understand. They don't have to understand, and they may understand as you do it. You'll never know. And besides that, you won't be running from yourself. You'll be being who you are supposed to be being. You'll be, and it's going to create an example. Whether a motherfucker like it or not, they may end up seeing some type of major, broad, obvious synchronicity in their actual reality that they would have never paid attention to had you not been an example for them a moment prior to that. So this is that type of animalistic nature, because we always got two ends of the spectrum, and then you bring those things together and you find your equalized balance of it, and this will be equal. We're going to look at this as an equalized animal energy. Okay, activating the animal within, reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. That number 9 is that broad energy, that all knowing. I already know I did that. I already experienced that shit. Like, so it's like at that point we're looking at the higher octave. My stepbrother was very low octave when it comes to that 9 energy, but it was still apparent that he was operating out of that 9 energy his whole life. But let me transmute that. That's why I don't be want to throw my personal business in there, because then that makes me look through it through that lens. It don't make me, but it tempts me to do that. And sometimes I may not be aware of it, and I project, and I don't like doing that shit. So anyways, we're looking at this from the higher octave of that though. Or not even higher, just the equalized perspective of that. Um, Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine, the life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. Anything, I just posted this on my Instagram notes. Anything that is man-made, the love of that will lead to what the saying is, money is the root of all evil. No, anything that's man-made, the love of that is the root of evil. So it don't just stop at money, because this is echoing the things that's not man-made, and having some participation in those things, having some reverence to these things, actually paying attention to it and looking at it as it's actually relevant, and not, oh, I can't see it, so I'm not gonna pay attention to it because I'm weird then. And if I tell this person something that I can clearly sense off of them, it's weird. I'm gonna keep it to myself. I tell them, hell, unless it's not very like if it ain't your business. But in some moments, it may need to be expressed because that's just who you are. Like when you're gonna express yourself, and if you're in a conversation or relating to somebody else, and something comes up that's not personal, but that's a trait of yours, don't hide that. You'll tell them about a job that's hiring, so why not tell them about how what they're doing is witchcraft at the moment? Whatever the case is, I do. Fuck that. But anyway, let me chill out. Okay, the life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices. The country I read that. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated, like right, that unsophisticated, that's that number. It's not necessarily number 9 energy, but it could come across as um number 9 energy could come across as unsophisticated at moments, because a person that has not experienced the whole spectrum of a situation versus a person who has already understood like the whole space or the whole spectrum could be operating out of understandings that's unbeknownst to those that have not experienced that yet, and it may come across as unstatus quo or unsophisticated until they reach the point to where they can see that same shit for themselves. So that's why it doesn't matter. When you know and you have already trusted what you know, and you trust reality and you trust life, then that'll allow you to operate out of your animalistic instincts in an appropriate way for you. Now, and fuck what's appropriate for others necessarily, if they're not even something that's on the same standard. Their standards are not even equal or meeting yours. You can't worry about how you may step on their toes when it's time for you to just be you and operate out of your energy and do what it is God had you to come down here to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow those things to stop nothing. Like, you can't do that. You'll be sinning against yourself. That's blasphemy in a way to me. I like that just understanding that gives me the gumption to be myself, because I know I don't mean any harm. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing as who I am. And I ain't gonna go into detail on that, but y'all take that for y'all own self and understand what that means for you though. You could be prioritizing your moment of creating a song or drawing a picture, whereas the next person may feel like you need to get your ass up and go to work. Bitch, how you know that I'm not working right now? How you know I don't qualify this as work? I'm doing internal work at the moment. Or it doesn't matter. Like, anyway, let me move on because I'm gonna make this be longer than it has to be. Okay. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha becomes enlightened, he roared like a great lion. You feel me? When you have that moment of the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit overtake you, what you gonna hold back? That's a whole gift from the environment. That's like a gift that God is placing on you at the moment. So you're not gonna take the gift all because others are around that don't understand. What kind of bitch is you? Type shit. Like what? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't allow these things to you stopping God at that point. And people can't, to allow somebody else externally to you or something else externally to you to stop the flow of what God got for you. No, we're not doing that. That's weird. And now you're in the same standard as those around you that you were calling weird. Now you're weird too, because you ain't even allowing yourself to be yourself and allowing God to place certain gifts and certain awarenesses and internal abundances upon you. Type shit. Anyway, vital, elemental, alive dances when it's in this higher perspective. When it's in this lower perspective, it's savagery, pent up emotions, lashing out, overindulgence, lack of moderation. Yeah. All right. What's next though? So next we had the warrior come out. Now, and so for the people that are just not coming up in here, I want y'all to keep in mind that the cards, the astrological cards that came out were Mercury, Pisces in the 10th house. Mercury is currently in Pisces. Pisces itself came out. Saturn rules the 10th house, and where is Saturn at the moment? In Pisces. So that's the reason why this reading is kind of like talking about this, what we're talking about. Then first we had, because I don't remember what I pulled first, but then we had 4 that was exaggerated. This is somebody trying to logicalize the heart space, trying to make full sense out of things that you can only understand within. They're trying to not that you can't make sense out of these things, but trying to be sensible about stuff before you even get a chance to process it internally. Just looking at the facts without looking at the space or looking at the deeper parts of it. You're just looking at, oh, they must be drunk. No, they might be depressed. You know what I'm saying? Or however that may work. Then we had number 8 come out, which is that cycle that comes after 7. Because 7 is that new awarenesses. That's when you separate based on what you can understand. Now you have a different flow of life that comes about, which turns into a cycle and patterns and synchronicities. This is this being improportionate. You trying to necessarily control the cycles or the flow of life in aspects that you are not, that it's supposed to flow, or you feeling that you are out of control because you can't, you don't have control over certain things where you can control the mutable energy of the atmosphere. Like you can control certain things though, but it's not for you to, it's for you to find balance within this. It's for you to accept the things that happen so that you can be prepared for what's next. And when certain things happen and you are prepared for them, your energies are going to be easily to you there. It'll be easier for you to kind of equalize them or to be mutable with how you want to approach certain shit in the moment. Then we had 6, which was the solution. 6 gives trust type. I ain't trying to do the whole reading over again. My bad. Because some of y'all, anyway, because it's going to make me take too long. But y'all get the gist, though. If you don't, rewind, because I said this is my 3rd or 4th time saying the same shit. All right, so next we had the warrior came out. Warrior gives Aries energy. We got the snake, though. I had mentioned how this feels like that root chakra and the crown chakra together, which is 2 polar extremes, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that if you have equilibrium in that. But if you're trying to bring survival instincts to the mind, like you're operating mentally off of what you need on a survival tip or sexual tip or creation tip, without equalizing these things and understanding that that's what's going on, that's not necessarily a good thing. And this is wait a minute, is this, hold up, yeah, hold on, that was animal was number 9. Let me pull it up, y'all. Hold up, because I already went over that card too. So the warrior, in my mind, it gives a self, but let me see if that's true. Yeah, it's a self, and it's a number 10 energy. Well, it's a number 10, which obviously is Capricorn, and obviously equals up to a 1 again, which is Aries. But it's the individual with more space, the individual with more gumption, with more strength type shit. Because anytime you add a 0, that just adds on to that energy in itself. So you got more space of that energy. And 81 equals up to 9. That's that cycle affecting that individual, which is going to give them a full perspective of what they've been going through. Number 9, which is wisdom. So a warrior is also wise. Okay, let me pull it up real quick. And we got the rainbow at the top. Like I said, this is given like black and white, both of these cards were, but this rainbow at the top of his crown chakra is breaking that polarized perspective, finding equilibrium in the mental space, understanding that there is not necessarily a such thing as good or bad, because every moment changes. What was good yesterday is bad today. What was bad 5 minutes ago actually is more fitting and is good right now. So to find that equilibrium that breaks that polarization in those extremes. Let me see what these people said. Aunt Jackie, I'm a number. How you know I'm? How do you? Who is this? You making me feel like you know me. But yeah, I'm Auntie Jackie for real, in real life. All right. We often envision the warrior as an armored figure with sword in hand. He said he's a number. I'm a number 777. How you the hell you a number 777? I'm a number 777. So that means you're a number 3. See, we got to make it make sense too, though, because when you add 777 up, that equals 3, and you're supposed to like kind of narrow it down to like you ain't got to, but to be to make it like make actual sense and make it simple, add those numbers together. So I guess you're number 3 then. But if your birthday actually adds up to 777, I can see how that could be significant, and you want to keep that in mind too. I get it. But anyways, the warrior. We often envision the warrior as an armored figure with a sword in hand, moving blindly towards battle. I don't visualize that. Well, I guess you can. I don't visualize a warrior acting blindly. No, a warrior is strategic. What the hell are they talking about? Anyway, yet the deeper aspects of this archetype brings us face to face with death itself. We were just talking about death. That root chakra. Okay, I get it. Having to face this shit. Okay, where I'm at? Where's I'm at? Okay, the warrior stands precariously. What do precariously mean? Precarious. Hold on. Precarious to the third power. Okay. So you're just a 7. Okay. I'm sure you know what that means for yourself. But anyway, what does precarious mean? Let me see. Not safe or stable, insecure, and likely to fail or collapse. Okay. The warrior stands not stable at the edge of life and death. Well, I guess at that point, cause see, look, this is crazy because I was just talking about. I don't be liking to put my personal, but I was just talking about my stepbrother in this reading, and that's one thing that I always like. Everybody can agree upon that shit. He know what the hell he was doing to himself, and he knew he was about to fucking die. And it was kind of, it's kind of sad to know that the man. I don't want to talk about it. Hold on, y'all. The man been dying for the last few years now, so he was face to face with that. But let's not throw his goddamn energy in here. Okay, the warrior work requires presence. Hold on. The warrior stands precariously at the edge of life and death, trusting the eternal to guide the sword's blade. Right. You can't do nothing but trust at that moment because you know death is a foot, or life is a foot. That's just a cycle that we know happens. So no point of being afraid of it, even if you are unstable. You still trust that this is next. Trusting the eternal to guide the sword's blade. Trusting that when you strike, I hit that bitch in the neck. But because you ain't got your eyes closed out of fear, you got your eyes open, and your intention is to hit the bitch in the neck. And if you hit it just right, you'll hit him in the neck. But you're trusting this to happen, not necessarily overthinking the next moment. Okay, the warrior's work requires presence, alignment, and purpose. If and when the warrior loses its center, meaningless confrontations and violence are their default response. That's why it's important to be in that center space. When this card appears, it is important to question the battle. Hold on, this is number 9. Okay. It is important to question the battle at hand. It is likely a great one with deep roots and long-standing tensions. The actions you take will stay with you long after the dust settles. So choose wisely, brave one. As you draw your sword, realign the eternal wisdom within. Then surrender to the battle. Fierce clarity, purposeful action, resolve, and resilience when it's in its lighter perspective. When it's in the dark, and this ain't because it came out upright, it's threatening, savagery, just like the animal. It's a whole lot of savage ass, um, real nigga, real bitch type energy going on right now. And it's time. You got to step into that with grace. Yeah, I don't care that it's a savage energy. Have grace about it. And it's abandoning missions and values. Okay. Okay. That's in a darker perspective, but this is not dark. This is in a higher perspective right now because that's what we got going on. And even if it is in the dark, you declare right now that shit, I'm operating out of the higher perspective. I got understanding and wisdom to know how to be a warrior, even when I'm around nothing but savages. Because bitch, I'm a savage too at heart. I've been there, done that, and now I know how to equalize those things. And guess what? I'm the one that's observing these things, and I kind of can control the atmosphere based on how I know what's going on with my energies and my power and how I can control myself. That gives you the puppeteer position. And if other people are around you are also in that space, then y'all working together. Y'all not fighting with one another because y'all can see what the hell going on. So, okay. Then we had the prayer. And I look at the prayer as a tool. Let me see if I'm right. Yep. The prayer is a tool, number 65 and page 195. 65 equals to 11. That's two individuals with their own fucking individuality being able to have similarities to where they can understand and correspond with one another and they can relate. Not that they are going to be the same as one another. They just bring their two different perspectives together because they are very relatable. So, and with the prayer, that's how we want to look at life when we PREY. We want to look at our own individuality. Then we want to look at the opportunities about life, find which ones is a fitting or are similar enough for us to relate to, and then we want to attack that and go towards that and make reparations or whatever the word is, and um, make things open for that. Okay, then we got 195. Well, by the way, 6 and 5, that's balanced. Okay, anyway, 195, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's a 6. So it brings balance. Yeah, because when you find the pattern or find something externally or an opportunity that is very fitting for your energy and what you got going on, that's when you can create balance and make creation out of that. Number 6 is also creation. All those 3, 6, 9 androgynous energies produce and are creative. So when you are able to relate to the world and you're able to see yourself externally because you know who you are, and now you can see something that's your energy, your traits got something that's gonna benefit who you are, and you can produce off of that. That's balance right there. That's how you find balance in the environment. So let me see. That was 195. Okay. Let me hold it up. And with balance, black and white and color come together. Because most of these cards were black and white. You can see right here for the warrior, for an example. We got black and white and boom, there go color. So that's kind of like, I ain't saying that anything about this card necessarily or the meaning behind it, but just to what I'm referring to at the moment. This color contrasting the black and white are two totally different ends of a spectrum. But in this Piscean energy, because Pisces, well, it's not Piscean. I just got Pisces energy from this. But Pisces is a mutable. Well, and we know that Pisces is in the air right now. Pisces is mutable. It brings these two worlds together because Pisces don't give a fuck. Like, bitch, it is what it is. The things that you can't see are also real, and you can't tell me otherwise. That's Pisces type shit. And it's making these things like normalizing that, so to speak. But just overall with the prayer itself, that's how you're gonna have to normalize certain things if you're actually gonna PREY. Just because I don't have that job or whatever, I don't even want to say job. Just because that opportunity has not presented itself, that doesn't mean that I can't create it based off of how I'm looking at, like how I'm focusing my attention on that trait that I'm trying to participate in. So just because I can't see it, that doesn't mean that it don't happen. And you shouldn't ever put your mind in the space of, oh, that's not possible, when it's something that you deeply want or you deeply need or you know that's deeply for you. You don't just say, oh, that's not possible. No, bitch, you bring those two understandings together about how life is but a dream, and you create your dream at the moment while you're living life type shit. Didn't mean to say prayerfully. Thank you. I'm a number 3 life path prayerfully. It's all good. We know what you mean, girl. He say, I'm the winning ticket with the keys. What's up, Nicholas? Okay, let me see what this card actually say though. Okay, prayer. What is prayer? I don't know what they finna say. Well, we finna read it. Let me see if what they say lines up to what I know and what we know. We know what we talking about when we say pray. Even when we see the word A, the letter A in it, you transmute that in your mind. You know what that means. It's just a status quo symbol that they have to use, but I'm finna look at it how I know it is to be true. I pray, PREY. I'm gonna go towards what it is that I know that I'm supposed to have and I can achieve and I can prosper in. Not just hope and pray, Lord, please let me. No, we're not doing that. Anyway, so what is prayer? When are we in a state of prayer and when are we not? To whom or what do we pray? Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent, self centered thinking that spins us towards illusion. Hold on. The omnipresent, self centered thinking that spins us towards illusion, right? Because if you're just self centered and you're not considering the other aspects that's going around you, the other mechanisms and reactions from other things, then you're kind of like, I don't know. Let me read the rest of it before I even talk my way out of what the point is. Prayer leads us beyond our ego, right? As we move from our little story to the big one, some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. The fuck that mean? Because I'm knowing the basic understanding of prayer is to hope and pray that something falls in your lap and something works out, and that is something that's outside of you. What this book trying to say? See, I be look. I'm very cautious even when it comes to this type stuff because a person wrote this book and made this deck, and they don't necessarily know everything, but I still know something holds truth in it. Okay, so let me see. Some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. I don't know about that. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it's simply surrender or service. Whatever prayer is for you, this card reminds us of importance. Get quiet, low, humble, and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. Though it may be uncomfortable, it is time. Nothing else will do. Oh, bitch. Okay, we not look. Like I said, prayer is when you're bringing these things that you can't see down to reality because you know that you can create because you have created where you're at the moment, and you created things previously, whether those things were productive or beneficial or not. You know that you did create them. So if you can create that, I can create what it is that I want to by working on it and focusing my attention on certain things that are pertaining to that. And not only just focusing your attention, actually pulling things out of life that's gonna represent that and use it until you start to manifest and materialize more and accumulate more and more. That's what prayer is. Well, I don't know what they talking about, but it says offering to be of service, asking for guidance when it's in the light, right? Because if you're asking for guidance, that's you focusing your attention on whatever topic it is you're trying to materialize. You're adding other influences on that. So be careful on who you ask for guidance or who you take guidance from. Offering to be of service. What that got to do with it? What the hell that got to do with what I'm talking about? So I know this book ain't talking about what I'm talking about for real. Anyway, y'all, look. How long I been in? Oh, it's been an hour and 2 minutes. That shit went by fast as a bitch. I got one more deck over here though. But let's wrap it up though, so that we can get a full understanding. So basically, we already said this shit 1,000 times within this reading that you're supposed to trust what it is that you damn trust what it is that you know who you are. Trust is essential for moving forward. Are you doubting your path? Like trust. I had wrote a note the other day about on Instagram about don't let life scare you or some shit. You can never be afraid of what's next because in every moment is a moment. Every next moment is something that you couldn't necessarily fully know what was going to happen. So that in itself lets you know there ain't no point of there's no point in being afraid, even if you know that the next moment or the next days or the next months or whatever the next cycle is may be something that's extreme. We ain't gonna speak catastrophic, but something extreme, something very transformative, a deep death or a deep rebirth that is about to occur. Do not be afraid of these things. Trust them and be sturdy in who it is that you are, even when you're around other individuals that may be that status quo type shit, and what you know to be true may not align with what they got going on. You don't have to force it upon them, but that doesn't mean that you hold these things back when it's a part of who you are and how you express yourself. Like you can be around an individual that's clearly doing something that now if they ain't ask you for your advice, or If it has nothing to do with you, stay in your place then. But if there's things going around in your space, in your fucking environment that you know, like I may need to tell this person because that's a part of like my reaction to life. Tell them then. For instance, I had a Christian tell me something that they was gonna do yesterday, and it was straight witchcraft. Nothing wrong with it, but you need to know you doing witchcraft though. Just you know what I'm saying. You need to know. I got to tell you, baby. And don't be rude about it. I did use the word witchcraft just for that effect, but the point was you're just doing a ritual and a spell, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Just understand that that's what you're doing though, and also understand that don't judge others because I have a stigma upon me just in general when it comes to regular ass people in my life because they might not necessarily truly understand who I am because I'm not like them, but I don't hide it either. So I just make those things known because in my expression, not because I'm trying to prove anything, but because this is who I am. Like the fuck, I got to do that. Else I wouldn't be being true to myself. So trust that shit, and you do what you do because you know that that's who you are, and don't hide it. And we had balance. Do these things appropriately with balance. But let me read this out this other deck. Then I'm gonna dip for real. Okay. And another example. You know how a person can come up to you that's a Jehovah Witness and offer you a book of Jehovah or whatever the fuck. That's highly offensive to some people like myself. Because if I wanted to offer you some of the things that I that helps to enlighten my life, if I want to turn on a Uriel video, that's not going to be respected, and I wouldn't even do it because it may not even be appropriate in reality when you really think about other people's boundaries. So when a person around me turn on like gospel music and I got to be in a space with them, I'm not. I may not. It's gonna throw my energy off, so I may do come across kind of like. But at the same time, if it gets too like I be trying to figure out would it be appropriate for me to tell them please cut that off. Like I can't take it. Or if there's any other kind of things that you can do to set your energy straight, put on your own headphones type shit. Because a part of the message was don't let these external situations or scenarios that's not like aligned, they're low vibrational or they're low octave. Don't let these things run you. Like that doesn't mean that you are supposed to. Of course, you're not gonna participate, but shit, some people that's not sturdy. Where that card sturdy at? I just had the sturdy card. Some people who are not sturdy will let these things start to tempt them to fall into that same space that you just told yourself that you are not. You hold it down for you. Hold it down for the truth. Even when you do make a mistake and you over cross your boundaries, at least that was a learning lesson, and you still got the grace of you was standing in truth. Okay, I'm gonna pull one card out of this because I'm kind of ready to go. Let me pull one card. This is gonna be the closer, y'all. Okay. I don't want that card. It was autumn, fall, and it fell, and I ain't like how it fell out either. One more card for real. Okay, I like how that came out. Fire. Aries, Sun, Sag, Moon at the moment. Fire is transformative. Fire is passion. So if you actually have passion about the shit that anything that you are supposed to, that is like a representation of you, or anything that you say that's who you are, the things that you have concluded about like your reality, your life, your space, you should have passion in that shit. And this is number 10. Pisces is in Saturn right now, but you should have passion about that. That's by default going to transform certain things. That's going to break certain blockages. Say that these blockages come across as humans and other people or situations or scenarios. You just having passion about the right things is going to create certain actions that you do, and the responses are going to the responses that you get, whether they're nice, good, whatever the case, they are going to create transformation though. Let me read it out the book and we're going to dip. Where the book at though? Oh, here you go. Fire, number 10. It says, on the earth my body is formed each day, and by the energies of my experiences shall seek her out. What? Let me read that again. Of the earth my body is formed each day. Okay. And by the energies of my experience shall seek her out. What the hell? Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. I was reading earth. My bad. Fire. Here we go. Fire creates or fire destroys. Each serves the other as it uses the fuel at hand. Right. Fire creates or fire destroys. Because when you light a flame, you created light. Now you can see other shit. But you put a piece of paper over that flame, it's going to be destroyed. Each serves the other at it as it uses the fuel at hand. Right. So fire as a tool to an empath or a spirit in the body is the element of transmutation. Right. That's another part of this whole message is to transmute. You being yourself creates transmutation by default. And that's all you got to do is be yourself. And if you haven't been being yourself, you being yourself is a transformation in itself. And like attracts like. So if you're in a space of I'm transforming, like I'm in a space of transforming at the moment, anything around you is going to have to be transformed. Like a person who may come that doesn't necessarily look at you how you actually are, their perspective will be transformed by default, and it doesn't matter if you even know about it, and who cares if it don't. But that's just like how it will happen. Okay, where I'm at. Wood as it burns is fuel, which is hold on. Wood as it burns is fuel, which is stored from the sun, releases the waters of its life as steam and smoke. My bad. In its wake, the ash of its physical being is left behind. The same experience of fire can be used by a skilled spirit in the body, empath. This book says empath, to discover the basic elements of an emotion. Hold on, let me read that again. The same experience of how wood is burnt, which is stored from the sun, releases the water of the life as steam and smoke. In its wake, the ashes of physical being is left behind. The same experience of fire can be used as a skilled empath to discover the basic elements of an emotion, which may be hindering one's movement forward. Right. So, okay. So if you transform and declare that you are going to stand sturdy in who you are, once because you have passion, because that can help you find the passion to even have the gumption to do these things. That is going to what it says. Hold on, what it said. The same experience of fire and reuse and skill, the basic elements of an emotion. It will make aware to you certain emotions um that's going on in the moment. Hold on, let me read this. Which may be hindering one's move. Okay, it'll make aware to you certain emotions that need to be removed so that they can be transmuted. Because whatever those emotions were was what was hindering your actual expression in the first place. Using the fuel. Hold on, a collection of elements. What's wrong with my damn comprehension right now? Hold on. Using the fuel of passion to burn away the weeds of the past, we can soon begin to discover that which is waiting to be created. Right, okay. Because once you burn through that, you ain't got nothing else to do but to be born again. A collection of elements and energies burnt back to their purest form with our own intention, like you meant to do that shit, of creating from a place of illuminating light instead of stifling acrid smoke. And this is number 55 too, which adds up to 10 being your status. You have passion is going to color your status, like it'll make your status apparent to others. It's going to define your status, whatever it is that you find passion in. That's going to help define who you are. For instance, my 10th house, because we were talking about 10th house, is in Sagittarius. Right. I got a passion, and I was explaining this to my sister yesterday, because it's not that I'm trying to wake no damn body up. It's just that that's what I'm passionate in. I enjoy talking about life. I enjoy learning about it, about whether it's seen, the unseen, or the seen. It don't matter. I like to learn about these original natural life aspects. That's just who I am. Now, if that ricochets and has a side effect of people being able to open their eyes up to certain shit, that's just a side effect, and that's good. But my core point into being the way I am, it's because this is just a passion that I have. I enjoy that shit. So, real nigga shit. I'm finna dip. Bye, y'all. I got other shit to do. I appreciate y'all coming up in here. Hold on. Facts on Jacob. Okay. Who is Nicholas? Because, like, you giving me nephew vibes, and I know I don't got no nephew named Nicholas. Because how you know I'm an auntie? How you know that? Like, maybe that's just some nostalgic shit that when you said that, it made me feel very familiar. But anyway. All right, Misa B. Bye, y'all. I fuck with y'all. Prey. Don't forget to pray. Have some moxie today. Bye.